The Game Awards have come and gone, and Nintendo fans are chomping at the bit to get some news for what Nintendo has in store for 2020. I've seen some talk about a possible leak for an upcoming Direct, and I wanted to run it by you guys to get your thoughts. I'm prefacing this by saying this person seems to be a mixed bag when it comes to their leaks, as they've gotten things right and wrong in the past. But the tweet reads, so next Nintendo Direct is going to be January 2013, 1.5, third-party deluxe edition. Now, the tweet may seem a little confusing, but there could be some logic behind it. But first, I want to examine this person in question and show you guys what type of credibility we are dealing with here. What I want to hone in on first is Direct dates. I scoured this person's Twitter searching for tweets about Nintendo Directs to see if they knew about them in advance, and this is what I found out. For the most recent Direct, the September one, it seems they called the Direct just about 40 minutes ahead of time that it was revealed by the Nintendo Twitter. For the February Direct, they seemed to know about it 5 days before the announcement and knew that Fire Emblem would be one of the big features in that Direct. They also hinted at the Smash Direct back in October, a few days before it was announced. Now, it wasn't all positive for this account, as they seemed to be off with a few dates as well. They knew a Direct was coming in September 2018, but could not pinpoint the exact date and ended up getting it wrong. In addition, they were also calling for a Mario Maker Direct in April, however that did not end up arriving until May, so a full month off. Now, some additional things they got wrong were implying that Labo would show up in the Pokemon Direct back in February, and we know that did not happen. And they suggested that a Detective Pikachu sequel would also show up in the Pokemon Direct, which also did not appear. But funnily enough, a Detective Pikachu sequel was eventually revealed at a conference a few months after. So this person seems to be, as I said in the opening, a very mixed bag. They've gotten some dates right and some wrong. They've had some information about titles right and some wrong. So this person's credibility is just really wishy-washy. I don't really think we should count on their word 100%, but a January Direct does seem likely, and here's why. A December Direct just does not seem that likely. For starters, we're already halfway through the month and there's no word yet. Secondly, it's the holiday season. Christmas time and December in general is when a ton of games are purchased, obviously as presents for people. By airing a Direct just before Christmas, you could potentially lose out on some sales. Nintendo would introduce more titles to get hype about just before the holiday rush, and it may dissuade some people from buying the current games on the market now and instead wait to purchase these newer games whenever they release. It's much better for them to just save the Direct until after the holiday season in order to maximize holiday sales. February would seemingly be a bit too late. One of Nintendo's biggest sellers for the first half of next year is going to be Animal Crossing, and that's coming out in March. If a Direct is to come out in February, it may be a bit too late to push enough hype for the game. They want to leave enough time to remind people about it and make a big push for its launch, and January is a better suited month for that. Additionally, the 5th Smash Fighter is guaranteed to release by February 2020, and we still don't even know who it's going to be yet. No DLC fighter for Ultimate so far has been released the same day that they have been revealed, so that trend will probably continue with fighter number 5, meaning they need to have a little leeway time, so revealing the fighter in January just makes more sense. Now back to the original tweet in discussion. Let's play a guessing game for a second and just assume this person's tweet is real and the information this time is accurate. What could they be hinting at? Well, there are a few ways you can read the tweet. Some of the interpretations that I was thinking of were, for the 2013 part, it would be games from 2013 being ported to Switch, and the two big ones that stand out to me are Pikmin 3 and Wonderful 101. Now, back in July of this year, Platinum Games studio head spoke about the possibility of a Wonderful 101 port on Switch, saying the Wonderful 101 is obviously something that we hold near and dear to our hearts, and so we've talked to a lot of different people about what it is and what it means. We've done a lot of intel gathering, and the only thing that I can say right now is that I'm glad we did. I'm glad that we talked to a lot of different people. Now, it's worth noting that 2 years prior to this comment, the official Platinum Games account tweeted out art of the Wonderful 101 characters playing on a Nintendo Switch, so they've definitely been teasing for a while now. And everyone knows that Pikmin 3 has been rumored to get a port, and even King Zell himself has mentioned it as well. So many insiders have been talking about it, and it would seem likely that it could be just around the corner. So I wouldn't be surprised to see either of these things show up in a February Direct. Now, the 1.5 third-party deluxe edition part is interesting, because you can read it as just 1.5 or 1.5 third party, and you could read either third party and deluxe edition as separate or together. So it's hard to say what it all means, but my assumption would be that 1.5 is referring to Kingdom Hearts 1.5 coming to Switch. We know Kingdom Hearts has a history with Nintendo, so it wouldn't really be a surprise to see something like that. Now, back before Kingdom Hearts 3 released, it was rumored by reputable insider Imran Khan that Square wanted to get Kingdom Hearts 3 onto Switch, but that the game was too demanding for the console, and he suggested that possibly what Square ended up settling on was getting the remasters of the old Kingdom Hearts games instead. So we could be looking at the 1.5 entry coming to Switch. Now, what the rest of this tweet could mean, I'm not sure. A deluxe edition could be anything. It could even be referring to something like the Pikmin port itself getting a deluxe edition. It's hard to say what Nintendo has up their sleeves for 2020, but as I said, regardless of this person's tweet, I think that a January Direct is still likely, but it's interesting nonetheless to see someone tweet this out. What do you guys think about this person and their history, and are you buying their tweet? As of right now, I'm just 50-50 on it. Since their history is so sketchy, it's really hard to tell how it's going to shake down. My bet is that we do get a January Direct, and some of the things they mentioned will be on there, but some of it won't be. That does about wrap up the video, guys. Let me know your thoughts on all of this down below. And as always, make sure to subscribe and notifications on if you want to stay up to date with future content. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.